Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Long time. Um, we'll be on. Um, so for more people join, inshallah.
وأكرم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم واغسلهم بالماء والثلج والبرد ونقهم من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس وجازهم بالحسنات إحسانا وبالسيئات عفوا وغفرانا حتى يكونوا في بطون الألحاد مطمئنين وعند قيام الأشهاد آمنين وإلى أعلى جناتك سابقين. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم وأكرم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم واغسلهم بالماء والثلج والبرد ونقهم من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس وجازهم بالحسنات إحسانا وبالسيئات عفوا وغفرانا حتى يكونوا في بطون الألحاد مطمئنين وعند قيام الأشهاد آمنين وإلى أعلى جناتك سابقين. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم وأكرم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم واغسلهم بالماء والثلج والبرد ونقهم من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس وجازهم بالحسنات إحسانا وبالسيئات عفوا وغفرانا حتى يكونوا في بطون الألحاد مطمئنين.
Some choices matter. Where you give your zakat this Ramadan is a
وعند قيام الأشهاد آمنين وإلى أعلى جناتك سابقين. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم وأكرم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم واغسلهم بالماء والثلج والبرد ونقهم من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس وجازهم بالحسنات إحسانا وبالسيئات عفوا وغفرانا حتى يكونوا في بطون الألحاد مطمئنين وعند قيام الأشهاد آمنين وإلى أعلى جناتك سابقين.
cancer hospital.
وأكرم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم واغسلهم بالماء والثلج والبرد ونقهم من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس وجازهم بالحسنات إحسانا وبالسيئات عفوا وغفرانا حتى يكونوا في بطون الألحاد مطمئنين وعند قيام الأشهاد آمنين وإلى أعلى جناتك سابقين اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم وأكرم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم واغسلهم بالماء والثلج والبرد ونقهم من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس وجازهم بالحسنات إحسانا وبالسيئات عفوا وغفرانا حتى يكونوا في بطون الألحاد مطمئنين وعند قيام الأشهاد آمنين وإلى أعلى جناتك سابقين اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم وأكرم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم واغسلهم بالماء والثلج والبرد ونقهم من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس وجازهم بالحسنات إحسانا وبالسيئات عفوا وغفرانا حتى يكونوا في بطون الألحاد مطمئنين وعند قيام الأشهاد آمنين وإلى أعلى جناتك سابقين
Assalamu alaikum.
بسم الله الرحمن
These guys are
Assalamu alaikum, guys. It's me, Jaffer. It's been a while since we talked. Found out last night that brother Eesa had passed away, and really sad. Um, brother Eesa was a good brother, a very kind brother. Me and him got along really well. He supported our channel, came to our channel a lot of times discussing different topics. I recently remember me and him talking, and found out that me and him, our daughter's names are the same, which was which is pretty cool. And a year from now, a year from this date, this month, I myself had a massive heart attack, and I have children, I have a wife, family, and if I was 15 minutes late to the hospital, that's what the doctor said, I would have been gone as well. And when I heard about Issa, it brought me back how I felt um, back then, thinking about my children. Um, it was families this is separate the need. Um, guys, I posted up the Eve Dawa um, for funding Issa's family. Definitely donate to that. Stuff like this, that we always have to think about how we act with each other, how we represent ourselves as well at the same time, um, where we don't leave negative parts of ourselves, but positive things. If you look everywhere, there's only positivity about Brother Isa because that's what he left. He left that positive attitude that the Muslim Brotherhood. Nobody can talk ill about him, And that's what we need to remember is that what do you guys want people to remember you as, right? What is your final days going to be like? Like, mashallah, it's a month of Ramadan. They passed away in. May Allah accept all his prayers and fasting and his du'as. But you see that anyone can go at any time. Doesn't matter how healthy you are. Doesn't matter how not healthy you are. Um, it's Allah's will when you're going and you leave behind your family, friends, and you leave behind um, your own identity as well, meaning how they remember you as. So be nice to people, be humble, be honest. Stop the fitna if you're fighting. Forgive each other. Move on. Do good things. Learn Islam, practice Islam, teach your children Islam. Um, the the verse that you heard right now that I played, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the meaning to it. And the meaning is, "Oh Allah, forgive them, have mercy on them, keep them safe, pardon them, arrange for them honorable hospitality, expand their graves, wash them clean with water, snow, and hail, cleanse them from sins and wrongdoings like we clean white cloth from dirt, give them good reward for their good acts, and pardon and mercy for their sinful acts, so that they live in content in the interiors of graves, are safe with all witnesses, stand up, and are running towards the high levels of your paradises." One someone bird nest. So this dua is best for parents, friends, and relatives who pass away. Um, and like I said, guys, Brother Issa was a good brother, well known in Speaker's Corner, but he was also well known as a brother behind the scenes, in private chats. He's very knowledgeable. So let's make dua for him, inshallah. And let's not talk ill about anyone. I've been seeing things going around, and which is kind of sad, especially so soon. But as you can see, people are just people, right? And inshallah, Allah will decide what happens to them. But definitely donate, help the family out, inshallah. And I'm gonna leave it at Walaikum Salam. So guys, we're blessed to even have talked to Brother Isa or known him, and I'm glad that I had a chance to talk to him and become friends with him. Um, and I gained some knowledge from him and other brothers as well. And like I said, he was a humble brother, um, very open minded, didn't judge people. Um, inshallah, Allah will grant some gentle Firdaus. And like I say, brothers and sisters, um, be humble Muslims, show your good characters. Because at any time you can go and um, you don't want the person to remember you as somebody that you weren't. Yeah, it's a wake up call. You don't want them thinking that you're ignorant or extreme or a bad guy. Always talk to people with respect. If you want to gain respect, but as Muslims, and that's what Brother Isa did. Even when someone disrespected him, he didn't have that. Um, he didn't react back the way that they wanted him to, and I respect that. He was very humble. Even if he disagreed with somebody, they kept it clean. He kept it clean, and I think that's where a lot of his respect came from. Where he stood up for things that people were scared to stand up for, thinking that they'll be judged. But the only thing he was afraid of was Allah and nobody else. So much let's keep in your doors. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a recording of I remember when the brother contacted me once saying that he had a topic he wanted to speak about, and I was happy to give him the platform to talk about that topic. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and play some of it where Isa is talking or speaking about a specific topic. So inshallah, let me go share the screen. Let me know if you guys can see the screen. All right, I'm gonna play it. How I tried that. Alaikum salam, sister Jannat. How you doing, sister? Hey guys, please like the channel or the tonight's video. We already got 14 dislikes. Thanks, Analyze. I just sent a link to all the logos I made. If you guys want to vote on it, Jordan, I try not to be in. Um, so I try to keep it every other day, but sometimes people want to come on. So for the brothers, I'll come online. You know. Assalamu alaikum, brother Eesa.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Am I echoing, Akhi?
No, you're good. Alhamdulillah. I was entertaining, you know. So, how you doing, brother?
Alhamdulillah. I was just collating some notes. Give me 2 seconds and then I'll jump on. I'm just gonna step outside for a second.
Take your time, yeah. Sister Jannat Seeker, you know how it is, man. You know, if you don't got haters, that means you ain't doing nothing right. So, haters means that we're doing something right. So, just hating on the channel because those. Walaikum salam, sister Rashida. How you doing? Oh, you were 6. Where were you? Where were you at? Salam alaikum, Tanvir. Haters gonna hate. You're right. Imam Haruta, brother Eesa, my brother, I like how you handled the whole sihr thing with Oz, chapter 9. Okay, brother Eesa, that's for you right there.
Sorry, what was the Oz thing? You mean regarding him burning the stuff?
Imam, brother, do you like the way that you handled the sihr thing with Oz, chapter 9?
Yeah. Alhamdulillah, man. I felt like someone needed to help the brother still. He was trying to make strides and leave the stuff that he was doing before, so should support him. Sorry, my little one's she's got a hold on my leg and she won't let me go, so give me 2 seconds.
I remember those days, man. I was my kids were back like 2-3 years old right now, but they got they got older now. Tuko has a question for brother Eesa. What's your question, brother Tuko? And no, he's not in the penitentiary like me either. Brother Tuko thought I was in the penitentiary for a minute. Brother Eesa, did you want to answer that? Brother Tuko's question?
Wait, what was his question?
He says, Brother Eesa, what is it with Rasmus Room and their racism against Asians or non-black people?
Sorry, bro, what was his question?
Let's try to keep the questions, outside the channel. Everybody has their own channels. I know some people have issues, but it's up to Brother Eesa if he wants to answer it.
Yeah, what's the question, bro?
The question was, what is it with Rasmus Room and their racism against Asians or any non-black people?
Yeah, that's who asked that question?
Brother Tuko.
Would you like to elaborate on that question in terms of racism and non-black racism on the channel and what exactly he means? Because personally, I don't see it, but that might be because I'm black and I'm biased. So, yeah.
I think brother Dalil is right. He says that spokesperson for respect. So you might want to ask respect, brother Tuco.
Yeah, but everyone, it's, you know what, I've seen this attitude that because I don't have issues with respect, so that automatically means I'm part of gang. It also automatically means I agree with everything he says, and automatically means I'm racist. Then it's just a bit. It's just a weird.
Yeah, I don't understand that, man.
I
Like, I don't understand why they would say that. Alhamdulillah, little brother Eesa, good brother. He's been giving appreciate his his support. But you know what? Like I said, I mean, guys, you would have to ask respect what he really thinks Muslims and non-Muslim or black Muslims. I don't think brother Eesa will be able to tell you that. Oh, he doesn't see it, so if you guys have seen something, then you might want to ask.
I mean, I will comment on respect at least. Yeah, I know respect specifically is not, or I believe, in my opinion, respect specifically is not a racist against none or any people for that reason. I believe a lot of people deem you to be racist when you talk about the open oppression. Yeah, as a black person, when I speak about the racism that I receive, people want to downplay it. They don't want to hear the fact that some of their countrymen are racist, or it's like maybe turning a blind eye to it because it makes them feel better. But at the end of the day, you can't belittle somebody's personal experience. If someone comes to me and says to me they face racism at the hands of a black person, I'm not going to turn around and tell them they're lying. I'm going to listen to their experience, see if there's any way they may have misunderstood their experience. But if not, at the end of the day, what I'm going to do is try and sympathize and empathize. And that's the most important thing. For me, if I'm real with you, I don't even have as big as a problem with people who are openly racist as much as I have an issue with people that are complicit racist. If people are openly racist, you can have an open dialogue and try and get them to change things. But if people are complicitly racist and they have no problem with seeing other people oppressed because of the amount or lack of melanin in their skin, it's an issue.
You know what I don't understand is that I mean, if you guys are having issues or if you guys think that something is not right, then you don't feel comfortable in. And that's why Muslim Matters is here. Like, if you want to talk about Islamic topics, or if you want to see a lot of Muslims, then Muslim Matters would be the place you want to come, or another Muslim channel. It doesn't even have to be this channel. Choose any Muslim channel, and you always
that's the point. There. Yeah, if you look at it, yeah.
Brother, salam alaikum.
Number.
Islam.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
So, brother, you can talk.
So maybe that on the channel, on Raspect's channel. Sorry, bro. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Well, the thing is, like I said, I mean, look, he has his own channel, right? So you guys, he doesn't control people coming on there, right? He keeps it open to anybody that wants to come on. I think he gets attacked a lot too on his own channel, right? And he lets it happen unless you're actually going, really crazy.
That's the style of his.
But that's exactly what his channel is for, right? Now if you don't like that kind of stuff, of course, then you shouldn't go. It's like watching Channel Fox and watching CNN, right? if you don't like five, the right wing a lot, then why you watch that channel?
It doesn't make sense, does it? Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. If you don't like five, now if you want to talk about Islam or to choose any Muslim channel. Muslim channel and then like watch our channels and stuff like that. You know, if you want to talk about Islam or
is someone echoing in the back and playing the YouTube?
Brother Faisal,
sorry, bro, my bad. I have to use the YouTube on my desktop so I can give it a thumbs up.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, Brother Faisal. Welcome.
It just seems a lot of haters, man. That every time I come in this chat, and it's nothing but good that comes out of it. But it's always thumbs down. I don't know.
Yeah, but inshallah.
Yeah.
But guys, like I said, Brother Eesa is correct. And look, guys, I'm sure Brother Eesa gets this question all the time. But you know what I'm saying? Let's make sure that Brother Eesa is mashallah, back chats as well. You know, inshallah, man, we'll learn a lot from him, and I'm sure we'll all learn together.
Inshallah.
And that, you know, we want to learn about, right? So anyway, let's move on. Let's see who's on here. Wa alaikum salam. So
I've been waiting for you guys.
So there was a question for you by Imad, I believe.
Who?
I believe Brother Imad was asking a question. If you want to know where you've been.
Oh, where have I been?
If he hasn't seen you lately.
Oh yeah, man. I've been in Guantanamo Bay.
I just bailed him out, man. I got my boat and I went over there and picked him up.
Yeah. Now, Jaffer, I think for me, especially for me, I don't know about how other people feel, but this platform for me is so vital for me.
Yeah, man.
I can come here and air similar views with the brothers. Like, I'm not here to doubt. I'm not here to
see that before you came on here. Like, I consider like an extended family now. You know what I'm saying? Like, since they've been with us from the beginning. Like, at one point you'll be like, yo, I know these guys on the chat. Like, I know like my boys out here. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, John, can I ask you a question? Yeah, you know, like Brother Reese was saying. Yeah, I know you've been doing this for a little while. Yeah, I'm not going to name no names of it, but how do you find before how you were doing it to what you've been doing to say over the last, you know, month or 2 weeks or whatever? How do you find it yourself as a, you know? Because I think your whole aim was to actually to get Muslims on that talk about Deen, innit?
You know what? I'm actually happy, you know, because I've been trying to ignore the trollers now. You know what I'm saying? The haters. And I really don't care about that anymore. This one's we're actually talking about Islam, and people are coming online and some of that.
Bro, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. There's like 2 or 3 brothers that come in the chat, and they always troll, but I give them no time of day. So they've had nothing, so they can't do anything but talk to themselves or talk to other people. And I can see they're frustrated and they've given up. At first they were going full speed.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's like, okay, he's not going to respond to us now. So then, khalas.
If you
compare our chats, right? If you look at our chats right now, and compare it to other people's chats in their channel, it's nothing like that, mashallah. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Every once in a while, we have to like delete somebody's message or something that troll in. But look, alhamdulillah, like talking about subject that's not right. Yeah. That's what I like to see. You know, somebody that's you know, like either into what we're talking about or talking about something Islamic on the side. Yeah. That we probably talk about the next day, like Brother Eesa and Abu Mujahid will talk about that day, and then I brought it up again, you know, the next day on the panel.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But yeah, but you know what? I know everybody's dying to hear Brother Eesa. So I'm going to give you the platform. And
okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to lecture anyone. I just wanted to mention a few points which I think is vital. And it's off the back, and obviously we don't want to mention anyone's panel, but I'll do it as a one-off. It's off the back of a panel that was happening earlier today on Raspect's channel. And Raspect knows me, I ain't got anything against him. My issue is more with the Muslims that go on those panels. And my mission, the things that are getting me riled up about it is when brothers jump on the platform and talk about Allah without knowledge. Those are, like, for me, that makes Islam look worse than everything. If people are talking about Islam and you don't entertain them, yeah, they don't have, like, nobody, you won't validate them. But if they say things and you go onto their platforms, yeah, and then you say things that are erroneous as well, and then they get one over you after you've said erroneous things, it just makes the deen look bad. Now, I just looked at a few verses. I kind of had them memorized, but I didn't know where they were based in the Quran. So I just went and copied and pasted them, and I'll recite them, inshallah. If there's any issues with my voice when I'm reading, just please let me know, inshallah. So the first verse, and this comes from like a bit of my Salafi teaching as a young kid in Islam. The verse is in Surah Yusuf towards the end, verse 108. Can you not hear me? You still hear me on the panel, yeah? Ikhwa, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, play. All right. So the first verse is in Surah Yusuf, verse 108, and it says, قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين. So it's a command to the Prophet ﷺ to say, this is my way. I invite to Allah with insights. Insight being the main word. I and those who follow me, and exalted is Allah. I am not of those who associate others with him. Now the shahid, the point in that verse where I'm trying to bring is the Prophet, peace be upon him, has been commanded to say that when I call to Islam, I do it upon basira, upon clarity, upon foresight, upon knowledge. All those words come under the meaning of basira. So it's vital that when Muslims talk about Islam and they call to Allah and they say that they're being custodians of Islam and du'at ila al-Islam, that they bear in mind that what they're saying must be true and backed up with evidences, right? It's not sufficient to go on hunches or what you think your Mawlana might have said to you in the madrasa or anything of that nature. It's haram to half step. When you're talking to people, you must know that what you're saying is truth. Now, I'm not talking about mistakes or differences of opinion. What I'm simply saying is verses or statements that you make to people must be backed up by evidence. And the verses which support this, which I'll follow in here, and they're quite poignant verses. So the verses that I was looking at was the first one is in Surah An-Nahl, the chapter Surah 16, 116. And it says, وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَا تَصِفُ أَلْسِنَتِكُمُ الْكَذِبِ هَذَا حَلَالٌ وَهَذَا حَرَامٌ لِتَفْتَرُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبِ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَفْتَرُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبَ لَا يُفْلِحُونَ. And do not say about what your tongues assert of untruth. This is lawful and this is unlawful, to invent falsehood about Allah. Indeed, those who invent falsehood about Allah will not succeed. The next verse is in Surah Al-A'raf, verse 33. It says, قُلْ إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ رَبِّيَ الْفَوَاحِشَ مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنَ والإثم والبغي بغير الحق وأن تشركوا بالله ما لم ينزل به سلطانا وأن تقولوا على الله ما لا تعلمون. Again, it's quite a lengthy verse, but the shahid comes in the end. Say, my Lord has only forbidden immoralities, what is apparent of them and what is concealed, and sin and oppression without right, and that you associate with Allah that for which He has not sent down an authority, and that you say about Allah that which you do not know. Now again, the point I'm highlighting is saying about Allah that which you do not know. The next verse is in Surah Al-Isra, chapter 17, verse 36. وَلَا تَقِفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادَ كُلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا. And do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge. Indeed, the hearing, the sight, and the heart, about all those will be questioned. Inshallah, that kind of like highlights the route that I'm trying to go in. Is, brothers and sisters, if you don't have knowledge, you're not obligated to try and defend Islam or to assert something that you don't know just because you feel like you might lose face. Yeah, it's okay. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Quraysh, the Mushrikeen, they used to come to him sometimes asking about things, and Allah would not reveal ayat about it. And from Allah's wisdom that was, and the Prophet sometimes felt embarrassed. And Allah said to the Prophet, لا تحرك به لسانك لتعجل به إن علينا جمعه وقرآنه فإذا قرأناه فاتبع قرآنه. He said to the Prophet, Allah said to the Prophet in Surah Al-Qiyamah, do not hasten your tongue to recite the Quran. Verily, it is upon us to collect it and its recitation. So when we recite to you, then recite it. So don't hasten to put out there things that, you know, are guesses or you're not certain about, just because you think that it's going to make non-believers or other Muslims think better of you. If you do not have knowledge, simply say, I do not know. Yeah, there's quite famous stories about ulama of the past where people traveled to them, like in the times where it was boats and ships. It weren't 1 hour, 2 hours to Europe. It was good lengthy days, half-day travel on a camel, half-day travel on horses. The terrain was dangerous, right? And they came to Imam Malik, and the people say Imam Malik answered about 4 questions, and to the rest he said, La adri. And the people said, yeah, Imam Malik, we came to you and we had questions. What should he say to the people when we go back? Imam Malik said, tell them, La adri, I don't know. Do not be ashamed to say, I do not know. It's half of knowledge. Some of the ulama said it's nisful ilm, to say you don't know. And it doesn't benefit you to lie in situations where you don't know. Prophet ﷺ said in another hadith, Sahih, what's it? من كذب علي متعمدا فليتبوأ مقعده في النار. Whoever lies upon me intentionally, then let him take his seat in the hellfire. Now you might think that, oh no, I'm lying for the benefit of Islam. I've heard people say this. There's no such thing as lying for the benefit of Islam. Allah is not in need of your half truths or your lies. There's another verse as well which I forgot. It's directed to the people of the book, but you can also get example from it for the people of the Quran as well. So Allah says, Ya ahl al-kitab la taghlu fi dinikum wa la taqulu ala Allah illa al-haq. So he says, yeah, all people of the book, do not exceed or do not go to extremes in your religion, and do not say about Allah except the truth. Now, if Allah is setting that precedent for the Banu Israel and the Nasara, for the children of Israel, the Israelites, and the Christians, and the Yahud and the Sabi'een, then how much more is that a precedent for us, the people of the book? What Allah says, وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ. When Allah says, may them arise from you a part of the ummah that calls towards goodness and forbids evil, munkar. And from munkar is lying. Allah also says in Surah An-Nahl, I believe, Inna Allah ya'murukum bil adl wal ihsan. Allah orders you with justice and goodness. Yeah? And I don't believe anyone would, and this is my own personal tafsir, but I don't believe anyone would disagree if I said that from justice and goodness here is abandoning lying. That's all that comes to me now, but I was just frustrated because I heard a lot of mistruths on this platform on Raspect earlier, and the people were putting questions to. Fair enough, some of the questions might have been related to things that people didn't know, but then you're again, like I'm saying, is you're not obligated to defend Islam if you're not capable of doing so. You know, a lot of people say to me sometimes when I'm in the chat, jump on it, Eesa, jump on it, Eesa, and I don't jump on. And the reason why I don't jump on is because, firstly, I don't validate these people talking nonsense about Islam. That's number one. Yeah. Number two is people precede me and other Muslims to the channel, and then they talk smack, and then they expect me or some other brother to clean it up. And I'm sorry, I'm not gonna make. For me, I'm not gonna make Islam look like it's messed up, and that behind closed doors we don't even know what we're talking about. Who's gonna embrace such a religion where there's so much folder, so much chaos? That's not my thing. I'm not going to do that, which is why I say platforms like these, Ja'far, are so important, because I can then highlight the issues that people are talking, and I don't have to, I don't have to squabble with 8 or 9 other people who don't really have an interest in learning about Islam. You know, like at least here they can come here. They know there's rules that they need to observe. Yeah, and it's controlled environment. In those environments, it's not controlled. Yeah, so I'm not saying don't go to respect thing. I'm always there. At most times I'm there but alhamdulillah, if I've got an Islamic alternative, I'll go to the Islamic alternative. What I'm saying is, don't, like Allah says, وَلَا تَقْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ. Don't pursue that of which you don't have any knowledge. It's not going to benefit you, and it's not going to benefit Islam. Yeah, all you're going to do is end up getting bad deeds for lying. You know, that's my point. If anyone wants to chip in,
yeah, brother Eesa, I'm just gonna say you're 100% right, because what I found, I mean, maybe I've been thinking of that, you know, but some people specifically go on channels, not mentioning any names, they go there, even though you might give them the best way of, you know, your ability to actually make them understand. They don't want to understand, even if you give them the proper hadith, everything, yeah, they're not there to understand it, are they? Literally.
No, they're not. So my thing is, Faz, is then those people don't need to be addressed. Let them say what they want to say.
No, yeah, you know, I noticed also that a lot of people who want to belong into a group.
Mujahid,
A lot of
Assalamu
people.
Alaikum salam.
And, you know, I noticed a lot
Camera,
of times when I was talking about Faisal. I know a lot of times I've seen where, you know, people who want to belong into a group or want someone to think that the religion is not so bad, they try to change a little bit about the religion to make them feel like it's acceptable, which I think is
Yeah.
is not
Do you know
the right
what
way
it
to
is,
do it.
Ja'far? Yeah. Sometimes I can't blame the brothers and sisters. The amount of pressure that we're in the West to make Islam fit the Western standard, yeah, is immense. It's immense.
Yeah, exactly.
And
But we
sometimes
should,
it's,
yeah,
it's
you're right
sometimes,
about that. You're right about that.
sometimes
okay,
it's indirect.
Eesa, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Akhi, you know who I am? Faisal.
Naam, yeah, Faisal.
Assalamu alaikum, akhi. I have only one, I have few things. I'm gonna give them like 2 minutes, yeah?
Okay, go on, akhi.
Inshallah. Like, what did you say? It was right. But there is two direction. Okay, like how did you said before? It was ayah. وما you said وتعاونوا على البر والتقوى ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان.
No.
Okay, ما شاء الله. We are not here reference like me or you or anybody. We are not reference. We are not ulama. We try to do ijtihad. We try to do ijtihad from you and from Mujahid opinion. Here is about opinion. Me, I never go back to Google. I found answer. I found answer. There is some issue about fiqh. We do ijtihad. Like Hayyan, he told me, like when we said about Jumu'ah. Someone he was asking me, but I never back to the hadith. What means we trying to do our ijtihad. But what I'm saying is, we are in this council to show the truth of the falsehood. We are not a reference. As for the things we said, whether we seen it or not, we are striving. If we are wrong without knowledge, let us retreat and go back to the truth. For example, I'm not forced not to see, to do something wrong. Like, this is okay. You show me the right. Okay, no problem. We all go to the back to the right. We are here. We are here only for brothers. Like وتعاون وعلى. This is we are تعاون. We are تعاون على البر والتقوى ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان. After our opinion, we can go back to the Google. We are saying what we're gonna say about this thing and this one thing. This is hadith. I think everybody can do mistake. Like you was talking about Yusuf. Yusuf is a reference. He's Nabi. ادعوا على بصيرة في سورة سيدنا يوسف. ادعوا على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني. Like when you said about the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, when you talk with people or like counsel like this, don't lie. We are not lying because because we are. You have to understand there is too many different people. They are not like you or like me, and people they don't look at the anything is same. We are not same. We just do ijtihad. Like Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, I think he's Sa'd ibn Jabal. I don't want to go to the Google. I'm gonna waste your time. I don't know. He's one of Sahaba. He sent him to Al Yemen, and he tell him to learn people Al Islam. But he tell him one attention. He said, Sa'd, don't tell them about this thing when you do like sharh or fiqh. Don't say I said it or Allah don't say it's me who I said it. And Nabi Wasallam said your knowledge is like this. Because if you do mistakes, they're gonna say, Sa'ad, he done mistake. It's fine. Like Shafi'i rahmatullahi alayhi, what he said. He said, if someone do mistake, what they said Salafi, they said this man he done something wrong. Like if like Mubtadi'a, that's why my attention here. Like Mubtadi'a, they say if someone he done wrong, they will say, oh, this one is kafir. This is what I'm trying to say. We are here. We don't have knowledge, big knowledge. We try, like how you said, وتعاونوا على البر والتقوى. I think this council is very good. We give our attention. I didn't force anybody to say I give my opinion. After we back to the right, no problem. And you should know the things people do not look at reality or things as you look at him.
Wa alaikum assalam.
You understand, Eesa? This is there is no liar. I don't see people from liar. I see like Ibrahim.
No.
He was in the mosque and he heard.
I think you talk about Ibrahim, the brother that's in the panel. Or you talk about the alayhi salatu
like
wasalam.
Ibrahim, yeah, he told us he heard like the imam, but he heard the imam like people they heard voice.
Oh.
He took some things for us when we talk about it. After, if you want to leave fiqh, it's fine. We're gonna leave it for tomorrow, and we're gonna put this thing under the microscope, and we bring the right after. No problem. I done mistake, no problem. But no lie. I don't think people they mean it.
I wasn't accusing anyone on this panel of
lying. No, I know.
What
but you have to give two direction. There is al-udhr bil jahl. If someone jahl,
there's no udhr bil jahl when it comes to calling to Allah. When you're talking about Allah asma wa sifat, or his rububiyyah, or his uluhiyyah, there's no udhr bil jahl there. When it comes to tawheed. Yeah. So I'm saying to the brothers, if you're on another platform, not this platform here, if you're calling to Allah, and mathalan, you say to someone, it's permissible to call Allah Shiva, or something, the names of one of the idols of the mushrik, this thing is something that you've said without ilm, and it's also batil. You don't have any authority. In sammaytumuha antum wa aba'ukum ma nazala Allahu biha min sultan.
But Eesa, we have to try hard with people, and we back them to the right. The 100%. Guy, that's what we're trying to do. It's better we put some.
Professor, what he's trying to say is that a lot of people come online thinking that they're experts in Islam, and where they give misinformation about Islam, and that's what he's trying to explain. Is that if you go to other panels.
Do you know, Faisal, in this room here, we're all ikhwa. So when it comes to fiqh and stuff, we can make mistakes and we can correct each other. I'm talking about, when you're trying to call someone from kufr to iman, iman is something that is based upon firm, sound principles.
You
can't call people to iman on shaky ground. For example, let's say, I said to somebody, you can sully your salah any direction. You don't need to face the qibla. Is that something that is there an excuse for that statement? Can we say someone
very hard because he gave him a commander. He didn't say I think maybe it's like this because there is udhr bil jahl.
I'll give you an example. Professor, I'll give you an example. Someone says that at the end of the day, at the end, no one will be in hellfire. Now, is that correct or incorrect? At the end, nobody will be in hellfire. Is that
This
correct
is
or
yeah, you know, this is big
This is a
issue.
statement of aqidah, akhi. That's a
Yeah,
exactly? Now, a
yeah.
Muslim saying that on a non-Muslim panel. What are the non-Muslims as well as the Muslims going to stay?
Mhm.
some
And I think
topics.
that's what Brother Isa's explaining is that if you are going to go into a panel, make sure when you go to a panel, you're going to discuss something that you actually know, not that you don't know. If you're not comfortable, don't go on that panel and step back or leave.
But I think for our here, this room is good if we do something as well for people to change people. Discuss with him, and it's fine.
Brother Faisal, I don't think you understand what he's saying. If you don't know, don't say. That's what he's
There's
saying.
a bit of a language barrier here, bro.
If you don't know something, there's no point talking about it. That's what he's trying to say in a different manner.
Yeah, it's true. But there is people who doesn't have knowledge. There is some people who born
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
where he is, he doesn't know
That's what he's saying.
nothing.
you're right, akhi. And that those people shouldn't call to. They should only call
Shouldn't
to
call
that
Islam.
which they know firmly. You know, don't make up things about Allah. It's one of the it's one of the kaba'ir.
Yeah,
You can't lie upon Allah. That's a big thing. I'm not even
yeah.
talking. Fiqh is different. Fiqh sometimes there's tada'if al hadith and there's tawfiq al hadith, so there's a difference. There's ikhtilaf. You can you're working with madahib.
Yeah,
You got usul and all of that stuff. That's different. And then you can
but
say to
Tawheed
someone,
shouldn't be.
yeah. And then you can say to someone that is the Maliki school of fiqh, and I'm bari min. Like you can say that.
Yeah.
But if someone says to you, مثلا, Allah didn't order the Muslims to pray, or He didn't order them to pray 5 times a day. Something that is like what some of the scholars say is a ma'lum min ad-din bid-durura. One of the
This
brothers
is
said,
big
I didn't
problem.
hear the
This is
statement.
big
I didn't hear the
problem.
statement myself, but one of the brothers said, that someone said that no one will be in the fire in the end. That's a serious statement. And in fact, it kind of reflects the statement of the Yahud who said, we're only going to be there ayyam and ma'duda. It's in fact, that verse ends up saying that you speaking about Allah, which you don't have any knowledge of.
But Isa, only one thing: did he insist, and he want to? Did he insist about this one or no?
I don't know. This is something I heard after
you have
the
to
statement.
see kind of person how he looks like. If he did
Brother.
insist on, he want to back to the right.
Yeah.
If it's
What,
someone
sorry?
he tell you I don't know, maybe we do some searching. It's good if you help him. Doesn't matter any issue in Islam.
Yeah.
You just show him.
You're right.
Because our job
Sorry,
here,
what was you saying?
we change people from bad to good. But to blame, I think if you change, if people change, but like Nabi Isa, he came to he came to Mecca, and he changed. Why he's most powerful? He's Afdal Nabi, Fadl Nabi, and Nabi, because he changed people. If you see people very bad, very very bad, but Muhammad he changed them and he changed the new generation after. This is qawi. How do you say?
Isa, can you summarize what he's trying to say?
I think the brother's saying that even if people make incorrect statements about Islam, it's upon us to advise them kindly and try and get them on the right page. That's what I believe from his statements, not to maybe like abandon or make hijrah from the Muslims that are doing wrong thing and try and get them on board by teaching them and giving them the excuse of jahil when they make mistakes sometimes. And I understand from the angle of there is udhr bil jahil in some things, but I think in some of the things that I've been hearing, there's no udhr al jahil there, but that doesn't negate the fact that we still need to teach the ignorant Muslims who speak about Islam in ignorance about the ignorant statements that they're making. And I free myself from being a knowledgeable person. I'm not at all. But even if someone bought an ayah to support what they said, and maybe they were wrong by the fahm, I can understand that they misinterpreted an ayah. Yeah, but it's when I hear opinions. This is what it is about Islam. Islam says this, no ayah, no hadith. I just told the people, fear Allah from those things. You know, or my Mawlana said without delil.
Yeah. A common thing as well is like people are quoting the Quran, but they don't know the ayah, and then they'll try and what's the word when you
try and read the ayah?
Transpose? Yeah, not transpose. What's the word?
Translate.
No. Like with the hadith, even if you haven't memorized the words, you can give the meaning of how you remember the meaning.
Oh, okay. To paraphrase.
Paraphrase, yeah.
Yeah.
People do that with the Quran, and that's not permissible.
Yeah, I think I've been guilty of that a few times as well. I should probably nip that.
It's easy for anyone to fall into, but it's like it's just yeah.
But that's what I just thought. Yeah, like if you're going to debate someone about their book, firstly have knowledge of your own book. For me, it don't make no sense whatsoever when people challenge Yahud or like they challenge Jews or Nasara, and you know they want to Zakir Nike it, yeah, and give all the verse quotes and stuff. But when they asked about Islam, they have zero knowledge. It's not going to benefit you in the hereafter.
The Christians have caught onto this as well, so they come with questions about the Quran.
Yep,
and
some difficult ones as well.
Yeah,
because they've spent years getting battered as well. That's the thing. They've you know, they've heard all their refutations, so it's like, hold on. Well, now it's time to test the Muslims.
Yeah,
but
it's true.
The thing is, Akhi, you know what they say is قف حيث وقف القوم. Like, stop where the people stopped before you. Don't, within context, don't go beyond it. If Allah said something, like the topic today was regarding the Kaaba, yeah, and worship of the black stone. Now, personally, I don't understand why anyone entertained that. But if I was in that conversation, I would have just directed the people to Surah Al-Baqarah, where Allah said to the Prophet, قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ قِبْلَةً تَرْضَاهَا فَوَلُّوا وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ وَحَيْثُمَا كُنْتُمْ فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرَهُ. We would have just showed in the verse where Allah said, we've verily seen you looking into the sky. Yeah, so we're gonna direct you to a qibla that you are pleased with. So wherever you are, face the Masjid al-Haram. Clear cut, wadih verse. If anyone asks further than that, then you kind of really know these people. They're not really. There's a lack of ikhlas there. There's a clear cut verse from the Quran, not even a hadith, that says that the Prophet ﷺ was ordered to face Mecca. And then it further goes on to say that the people of the book will not be pleased with your qibla, nor will they follow it, and you are not to follow their qibla after that. But I never heard any Muslim even reference the Quran at that point. It was just polemics. And sometimes we have to get out of that speaker's corner mode of, you know, Allah will, Allah's going to protect his religion. He's not in need of us to protect his deen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like we're trying to win an argument rather than.
And a lot of our standards.
Convey.
Yeah, and a lot of our standards are based on European standards on morality. Now, if you were to, who is the criterion of good and evil anyway? Like, and I feel like we need to get this thing of like this our hearts away from feeling like the West has the right to give us some sort of moral standard. These people went around the world pillaging half of it, stealing from it, raping, looting. And then when they settled down upon wealth and off the backs of other people, turned around and said, now we're going to teach you what's good and right. Get out of here with that standard. You cannot, as a mushrik or an atheist or a kitabi or anybody else, establish to me what is good and evil, yeah, from your own books and from your own systems. So you're not in any position to criticize mine. And as mine is the haqq and Allah is al-haqq. Allah is the one who has he's the furqan. And that's what we should be going by, man. But I felt like I needed to vent today because I was just dying. I was dying when I was just listening to people just Yeah, man.
It's frustrating, bro. I know exactly what you're talking about. Man. So when you watch Speaker's Corner videos sometimes and you see the same thing, you're like shouting at the screen.
And look, I'm not talking ill of any non-Muslim. It's their right to criticize. If they're not convinced about Islam, fair dues. You know, no one's allowed to compel them to believe in what we believe in. For me, it's more about the response of the Muslims in regards to criticism of Islam.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
And if the criticism is not done in a disrespectful, provocative way, then
it's welcome.
Yeah, then we can just either walk away if we don't know the answer, or if you're not happy to listen to it, walk away.
Yeah.
It's just me and you here tonight, bruv.
Really?
So was that on Respect show?
Yeah, it was on Respects.
Well,
it's not only there though.
Okay, you know that guy. Well. You know Reggie was on there, right? With this.
That guy's an
American Christian called Mo. Did you hear the Christian American called Mo on there?
Yeah, he was getting on my nerves. He was the main one.
Yeah, I've debated him before on Takia Watch and Sophia Films, and they're all part of the same crew. Raindrops is part of their clique as well. Yeah.
Okay.
He acts like he's a Sikh, but he's not. He's part of their team. No.
Yeah, I was there, man, on that panel, man.
Yeah.
I was there.
So what is it? They have like a class, like clues them up on Islam and.
Yeah. They were, bruv. One night I was on the back chat of one of these hangouts. It wasn't a live stream, and it was Sophia Films or Mo. It was Mo, that same guy. He posted a message of how the time is going to come soon where they're gonna the sword will be unleashed on the Muslims, blood will spill. Like what? So I responded, right, and the whole chat went nuts. They were like crazy, all attacking me, right, and then it got so heated. Takia Watch says, "Can we take this live? This is a really interesting thing." So it went live, but it was crazy.
Is Takia Watch? Is he with Reggie?
Yeah,
he's part of this. Yeah, they're one of those Islamophobe Christians.
The thing was, Eesa, right? Do you know, I was on that panel, right? And basically, I was just there first, and they were grilling it. Yeah, he rings me up and goes, "Look, I've got this guy, and what do I do?" I was like, "Well, I don't know what to do." Yeah, well, I thought it was just him and him. I go there, there's Betty, everybody there. And the problem is, one of them says one thing, they add it on, that Raindrop was there. And the problem with this is, Raindrop was adding his bits to it,
Yeah.
Like, he'd go, the whole conversation started from, like, basically, why did Muhammad peace be upon him, why did he point at the Kaaba, and why did he kiss the black stone, okay? That's what he was saying. And we were like, look, and why do all Muslims not look up, why do we, face the Kaaba, basically, and us, and then it was like, you tried to tell them one, but they just go to another one. Then it was like, well, the pagan Arabs, did they actually do Safa, Marwa, everything, okay? And then, well, they had idols there, so all Muhammad did when he came, he basically just literally, used some of the ideas already there. What I was trying to explain to this guy, but look, you don't understand this, or you are understanding, but you don't get it. Yeah, he came. There was some stuff there already, but the Meccans that were there, they basically used the idol to get to Allah. That's what they're doing. They used the media, and that's what we got rid of. That's what we got rid of when he came. And then it was, what was the Hajj?
Yeah, but what he was also saying, Faz, he was saying that the black stone was worshipped as an idol. In the prehistoric Jahiliyyah times. Now, personally, I don't know of any authentic report that says that was the case, and I don't know of any historical report that says any of the Quraysh used to worship the black stone. What we do know is that they highly respected it, right? Which is why they squabbled over placing it back into the Kaaba.
And I said to him, well, where's your belief on that? And he basically put out the one that he just kissed it because of the fact that he's not going to benefit or harm the
No, but there's a lot of wind coming through your mic.
Is it coming through my mic or is it coming through?
I'm not sure. I think it's yours, Eesa.
Okay, all right, cool. Let me stop. I'm sat down in a windy place. Let me keep moving. Yeah, it's small, isn't it? So
Just put your hand over the microphone. It should protect it from the wind.
I've got headphones in, so it shouldn't even really be blowing like that. Yeah, yeah. If I do it in the house, you're gonna hear it now on the behind to say, "Oi, oi, oi."
Where are you outside?
Yeah, just on the street. Yeah, I'm on the end still. No, I'm joking.
Come on, man, you should be inside. It's cold.
No, I'm quite a warm person still. I've got a body of insulation here, so.
Now, even on that conversation, bro, sometimes when I said to the guy, "Look, get me the proper thing on it," he bought at the first, and I said, "Well, that doesn't mean nothing. Okay, we're not obliged to do that." But literally, them guys, it was him, Reggie, and Raindrop, and all they were trying to prove was why, where is it in the Quran? This. And I said, "Look, I don't know, but I'll get someone to give it to you." My came.
Yeah, but you know what, Faz? Yeah. Sorry, you should have. You know why you should have stopped them is because they gave a lot of narratives, yeah, which weren't in the Quran either, and pushed it forward as the Islamic haqq. So, brothers should have just stepped back a minute and said, "Hold on, you're not applying the same criterion. You're giving me reports that you've heard other Muslims tell you, or you're answering taqi or whatever, and that's not from the Quran. So now why? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I said to him, you need to give me something from there. But he only gave me that verse. I said to him, well, that doesn't mean nothing. Because, and then he says, oh, you have to touch. I said, no, you don't have to touch it. And he said, that, show me something on there. But literally, bro, yeah, it was, I know what you mean by that. And to be honest, yeah, today I kind of understood it in a better way because the problem was that platform was nobody there kind of thing. Rashford wasn't there to moderate it. And literally, it was raindrops going on. Then Carmaine came, yeah? So we thought, okay, we'll just literally let him deal with it, innit?
Yeah.
Because them were just going at each other kind of thing, weren't they?
Yeah, but you know what it is, though, yeah?
But they didn't let him explain it.
They didn't let him explain?
No, they were just basically like, he was trying to explain it, saying, well, look.
Yeah, and then people jump in, which is why I'm saying is that environment is not controlled, so it's not conducive for any Islamic debate, which is why I don't try and chat to these people. Because lots of them are clearly, a lot of them I feel like they've come across Muslims and had bad experiences with Muslims. So they're not actually genuinely speaking because they actually want to reach the haqq. They've already decided Islam is false. And now they're providing their standpoints for why it's false. So me personally, my approach is I don't entertain people like that. Which is why you will never see me next to a DCCI guy other than that Kane ever again. In fact, I didn't even know he was part of them. So he was but sorry, what was Carnane dealing with then?
So basically what Carnane was saying was, look, okay, right, then he was like, what's his name? That Mo was like, well, in the Bible, because what Carnane did was say, well, hang on, because he's pretty versed in the Bible, because he was pretty Christian, isn't he? So he was like, well, hang on, you're not understanding my point. Okay, let me tell you a different way. Okay, when the direction that they prayed, the Jews here before.
Yeah.
Why did he actually pray? Because there's the second commandment. Yeah, is that basically goes you're going against the second commandment. They were saying that
about me. Yeah.
In the Temple of Solomon, God used to come and recite. And he goes, well, we don't have that. Okay, so why are you trying to compare it when he says he's not even come here? So he did standards, and literally what he was doing, he was saying, well, hang on, I'm giving you this, and he actually gave a Quranic verse as well, to be honest, not to be fair to the guy, yeah, he did. But literally, they didn't want to know that, and he was like, "Look, this is what this is." But all they were trying to do, bro, yeah, they were trying to make it out as if, the pagans, Arabs, did it, okay, from Abraham to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, yeah. They were like, well, in between, and we were like, well, hang on, you guys change your religion. Now, I can't go there and say, well, what did they do then? Yes, they must have changed bits and added things to it. That's where the Prophet came, correct them. So because they had idols in there, and they were worshipping the idols, but they were using the idols to get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what they were doing. But the agenda was already turn to Christianity. They didn't pick up. So I said to Conway, look, bro, it's a waste of time because they've got their agenda. When you turn it on them, they go.
Yeah.
But next time, we should just not bother entertaining them.
Yeah. You know what I would also, maybe this is just my own personal thing as well, yeah? I personally don't like when Muslims are asked questions and then they turn around and say, but what's in your book? But what's in your book? What's in their book is not a criteria for us.
No,
Even...
the reason was, brother, yeah, they gave the answers. We gave the answers. They just weren't taking it. And then Buddha said, look, let's just leave it at that. Because it was getting to a point here where literally you're like banging your head on the
Yeah.
I said, okay, let's talk about their book now. And so he changed the subject. You see, but what they did was, the minute we were talking to it and talking about it, they went back to that one. Do you understand?
So as soon as you started go on. Sorry.
Can I say something as well? Sometimes it's a useful comment to say, what about your religion, in the sense that, I'll give you an example. That same guy, Mo, he was criticized, he was trying to show a hadith where a female companion, she was, she alleged, hit by her husband. And she lifted up her sleeve and they saw a green spot. Okay.
Right.
So, but in this hadith, it was quite clear about the regulations about hitting of the wife and what to do if the wife has been hit by her husband and so on. So it was all clear what the Islamic framework is about it, the ruling about it, and how to deal with matters and escalate it.
Yeah.
So we then said, okay, well, I then said to Mo, so show me in Christianity where it defines what a woman should do if she's hit by her husband. And he couldn't answer because he's got nothing. They got no regulations about that.
Yeah.
So in that sense, you can reflect and say, look, Islam has hadiths about racism where it's prohibited. It has guidelines about the wife and how she's to be treated. But your religion has none of those. So you couldn't say anything.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Once you've answered the question, I think I was saying more of a deflection. You know, if someone said to you, does Islam allow you to beat the wife? And you turn around and say, well, that's Christianity.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a tit for tat game thing, and I don't believe their book is a criterion for us anyway.
It's a question with an answer, or it's an answer with a question, anyway, basically.
Yeah.
That's what he said. No, that's what, I mean, literally, bro, it wasn't a case of they were deflecting or anything. We gave him it, we told them. And then it'd be like, well, we'd answer this. But then they'd go back to, well, did the pagans shave their hair? And this and that. And we're like, look, if the pagans did or not, I don't know, okay? Because I wasn't there for a start.
Yeah.
I don't know about the hadith, but if there is one, I will give you it later on, no problem. I'll find someone else.
The thing is, Faz, you know that the narrative is quite clear. Yeah, it's quite clear. We go back to Ibrahim, and Ibrahim. That's where the story starts. Ibrahim had Ismail with Hajar, right? And then he was ordered to leave Hajar in the Hijaz by the Masjid al-Haram. Yeah, or what was there of it at the time, if anything. And then, you know, we have that story of Safa and Marwa and the Zamzam coming out.
Yeah.
And then we have later on Ibrahim and Ismail raising the foundations of the house. Yeah, in Surah Al-Baqarah, إِذْ يَرْفَعُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ الْقَوَاعِدَ مِنَ الْبَيْتِ. That's a verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, that when Ibrahim raised the foundations of the house. And then Ibrahim said, what's that ayah? The ayah mentions something about manasik, the rites of Hajj. Yeah, where he asked Allah for the rites of Hajj.
Oh,
and he was ordered to call people, wasn't he?
Wait, hold on.
وأرنا مناسكنا.
Yeah, وأرنا مناسكنا وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. Yeah, right. So there, yeah, we can surmise that the rituals of Hajj were established from there. Now we know that Ismail married into the tribe of Jurhum, which was a Yemeni Arab tribe. His children became Musta'arab, which means they became Arabicized and lived amongst the people of Quraysh. So Quraysh is effectively an Arabicized tribe and not originally Arab. And they enacted out the religion and the things that they got off Ibrahim. Now the narrative is they lost a lot of it when the idols came over from Syria and stuff, but they still continued a lot of the remnants of the monotheistic religion that were given before them. And the Hajj is one of those things. And it's why when the Messenger of Allah ﷺ had verses where it says, وَلَئِنْ سَأَلْتَهُمْ مَنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ لَيَقُولُنَّ اللَّهِ. If you were to ask them who created the heavens and the earth, they would have said to you, Allah. None of the pagans ever came out and refuted that idea. Who's Allah? We don't know him. He's not from up. They still had the remnants of worship with Allah, and this is what shirk is. Shirk, yeah, is the maintenance of is the acknowledgement, yeah, or in fact, let me not even say that. But their shirk was that they acknowledged Allah was the Rabb, but they worshipped others in addition to Him, and made up reasons why they would. So they started saying, these are the daughters of Allah, or they're righteous, or these are the children of Allah, and we intercede with them. As in the first in Surah Al-Zumar, they started doing that. So when they say, oh, the pagans were doing that, yes, we know that the pagans were doing that. But where did they get the action from? Did they just invent it? No, they got it from their father, who's Ismail, who is the son of Ibrahim. So the practice, in its essence, is a monotheistic practice. And it's that. Yeah, go on that.
I did actually say that, brother. Yeah, not in probably like what you've done, okay? But I gave a pretty breakdown. And I said, look, this is where they get this. This is where they get this. This is where they get this. Okay. So I did tell them that. I said, look, this is how we get the Abrahamic religion. Okay. So what I said to her, she was told to stay at Makkah. And then obviously the seven, the Safwan Marwa was when she was looking for water. That's when we got Zamzam. Okay. Then a little caravan went past to see the water, and they settled there. Makkah grew. Okay, so they had to, and then obviously Ibrahim he was told to call people to Hajj. Yeah, he did, and he just carried on since there. And obviously the tradition was there. So things added. People added things. And obviously, then the Prophet came and they destroyed the idols. So it was there from that time. So it's they had their own agenda, bro. To be honest.
Yeah, no, it's clear that they have the agenda. Which is what I'm saying is, I can already see it coming from afar. And some of these people, you only have to listen to the way they talk here before even engaging them, and you'll know this person doesn't. He's not up for a true exchange. And to be honest, yeah, most people won't be. So it's not everyone, it's not everyone that every dog that barks that needs to be you have to pay attention to them. But I mean, look, I'm saying something, yeah, and sometimes maybe it's just me that I can't deal with it. So if brothers feel like they have the ability to deal with it and go through it, then fine. I just ask them that they provide strong evidences and don't back down. Be clear, be precise, bring the references, and don't half step. Just be clear. So when you move on to a new point, yeah, you can actually say, we're not moving on until I've established, look, you asked me this question, this was my answer, yeah, this is established proof, and now we're moving on because you understand. And if a man don't understand after that, then there's no point in continuing unless because what they do is you mention one thing, and then they'll bring something completely different and slide you off. And before you know it, yeah, you've gone on a whole 360, yeah, and ended up at the place where you was at the start after 10 subjects have been brought up.
Brother, that's one thing I noticed today, 100%. Because we finished that conversation, we started on something completely new, and where did it go? It all went back to that same thing again. And to be honest, I think no, you're right, Maurice, and you know that's one thing I've realised, and it's good, you know, that you brought it up because at the end of the day, it's made me wise more. Because usually when I don't know something, it's fine. But I think with other Muslims as well, having this panel, I think Brother Carmain as well. He actually,
Yeah.
he's actually, alhamdulillah, I like Carmain, yeah. He talks, he's got things, but they just don't want to know in it. So sometimes I think he might be better off, yeah, go in there, no problem. But I think, you know, telling, you know, should invite him to come here at least, because I think he's going to be in his element as well, isn't he? Yeah, go there, no problem. But I've seen it today with him.
No, but you know what?
Literally.
Carnaina, he's not in his element there. And I love the brother for the sake of Allah, but
No. I meant here.
People disrespecting him.
Yeah, I meant here. No, I meant here on this panel.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, when he comes here, I think he can actually give a lot of knowledge to us.
Has he been here before? Has he been on the channel?
No, he hasn't.
I would recommend, anyone that's listening to the channel now, if you're not subscribed, already subscribe, like it and share it. Yeah, this is an Islamic platform, which we should be benefiting from. Like I said, and I know haters, but whenever I see some pastor, some issue on other channels, you get hundreds of viewers in there. Yeah? And when it comes to Muslim matters, 20 people? That's that's embarrassing. This shows that the people really ain't. It's either that the reach ain't there, or the people ain't really interested in Muslim matters.
No, I think the reach isn't that, brother, but I think these 20 people are more your genuine ones than your 150 people, because a lot of them are just for the beef, aren't they? That's what I find.
Yeah.
But I think with Muslims, who cares about the viewers? I think it's more a case of what we
So
can
guys, do you guys know this James SC on the chat?
Oh yeah, he's a waste of time, man. Just let him keep ranting and show people
don't
how.
Entertain it, Jafar.
Yeah, just let him keep ranting.
Just don't entertain it.
He's I don't know, man. I don't know how much caffeine he's had tonight, but he'll probably be going for a while.
What happened? We were chatting to him, Jafar. What happened to him? DJ.
But I think as well, if you guys
I mean, look, you're right, Faz, quality is definitely better than quantity. I would like to think there's more than 20 quality Muslim brothers
No. Yeah, but I think with us as well,
so we have 35 people watching. We have 35 people watching, 26 dislikes. So the brothers and sisters that are enjoying Muslim channels, give it a like. And the other thing is Brother T, Assalamu alaikum, and wow, Brother Abdi, haven't seen you for a while, man. How are you doing, Mr. Abdi? Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, bro. Hopefully everything's okay. Assalamu alaikum for philosopher. So what do you guys think about Eesa? I agree with you totally. What you mentioned on that topic that you're speaking. I'm not sure if anybody else had anything to add to it.
Eesa, I was going to say, bro, I think as well, a lot of the Muslims, like I was talking to Jafar as well, we need to talk about, basic stuff about Islam as well for people to come, because I'll be honest with you, a lot of people, you guys might understand hadiths and stuff, need to detail.
Maybe we need to just you're right. Maybe we just have to start doing actual live readings of certain books basic books in Aqidah, teaching a little bit of Arabic if we can.
And even how to namaz, what's the benefits? Give the benefits to people. A lot of people don't know this.
Seerah.
And
I know there's a lot.
They might be ashamed to say it.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I feel
like embarrassed kind of thing.
The thing is, the thing is, and for me as well, I'm slacking in this area as well. Seerah. How can you love a person, profess to love a person when you don't know much about their life? Like it's kind of antithetical to what you're preaching. Like, in order for us to have passion for this thing, we need to know about the life of the Prophet ﷺ and his companions, the striving that he went to, why certain verses were revealed. Like otherwise, it just ends up like we're just reading something from our chest and it's not penetrating our hearts.
Yeah,
And, and,
as a kid, I used to love enjoying listening about the things he used to do. You know what I'm saying? Like like it was like bedtime stories for us. And
Yeah.
but
you just imagine like how he would treat people when you met them, what he would say to somebody sitting there and some of that, you know. So
you see, thing is, brother, easy. A lot yourself, yeah, and people like reactionary. So you guys are pretty well versed in certain hadiths. Yeah, you guys are at a different level to someone like me, 100 far. Now, when you guys talk about hadith, I'll be honest with you, it goes over my head sometimes. I'm like, who's that sheikh? Who's this? What's that? Last time, bro, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
What listen to it. But Albani, this, now, whatever. I'm like, what the hell, man? I'm getting confused here. He's saying he's all right. He's up and down him. He's this on the. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Last night was pretty good. We did a lot of discussion on Salah.
Okay,
I
saw something about Abu Talha.
Sorry, bro.
I saw something about Abu Talha.
Yeah, that was like towards the latter part of the show.
What was that? Lots of takfir and khuruj.
Yeah.
Well, Abu Talha and his gang were on the side chat. And
oh, what? Who's that? Him and Qatada and Abu Hamza and the whole Izzuddin and all of them.
Yeah, they were doing like the fear on reactionary and
and you, DJ. You didn't observe that they made takfir of you, bro.
I don't remember that, but if they did, then
they called the channel Kafir Matters.
Oh, did they really? Oh, okay.
Well,
that's all good, man. I mean, it's not gonna hurt my feelings. I know I'm Muslim. I know in my heart I'm Muslim. I don't gotta prove it to nobody. You feel me? Those guys, they like to show. They want us to show them that we're Muslim. Why do we have to show people that we're Muslim when we say we're Muslim?
But I'm saying before that we were going through Salah and the conditions of prayer, the pillars of the prayer, the differences.
Bro. Like reaction was reading each one.
That would be good still, because a lot of us went off Al-Albani's book of prayer, innit? But I'm sure that if people have gone into more fiqh and stuff, they might have some differences from Al-Albani in the Salah.
Yeah, we're debating on the chewing of the gum though, like
what chewing gum in Salah?
Yeah, we talked about Mubtilat as-Salah, the things that break a Salah. One of them was eating. So a question came: what if you had chewing gum in your mouth, right? And you forgot you had it in your mouth, and while you're in prayer, you realize, oh, I got chewing gum in my mouth.
Yeah.
Is your prayer broken? What do you do?
You know what I did? I said, speak to the guy in front of you and just have it on the shirt, and when you're walking out, have it back. And
why not put it on your own shirt?
Wait, does chewing gum come under eating though?
Well, that's the question.
That's what we're debating. Yeah, that's what we're questioning. Like, is it considered eating because you just swallow it?
And also, you say saying it comes from the makruhat. Yeah? Let's say if we were to say it's from the makruhat, that means if you abandon it, you're rewarded, right?
Mubtilat, we said.
Mubtilat.
Yeah, mubtilat.
Oh, the things that nullify the salah.
Things that break your prayer. Yeah.
Where did that come from, though? What's that based on? That is a.
Because we're talking
things that break your prayer. Eating is one of them. Laughing is another one.
Is that based on is that based on the evidence though?
Yeah, there's dalil, but we didn't have it to hand. We were just reading from like a basic book.
Yeah. Well, in the beginning we were talking about the right steps to do when praying, right? Like for example, the niyat, right?
Well, like,
you say the niyat in your mind and your heart. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, can I ask a question about that? Because that always was always a bit funny for me. Yeah. If you set your
actually, no, we should talk about it again. We should talk about it again. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go on. So if you set your alarm clock, for Fajr, you wake up, and you make wudu in the bathroom. You go to your prayer room or your musalla. You go to the masjid if you're like really muttaqi, and you pray 2 rak'ah. Without mentioning in your heart or in your head, I'm gonna pray 2 rak'ah for Fajr, does that mean you haven't made the niyyah?
No. The niyyah is just the fact that you're aware of what you're doing. And the second part of it is that it's only for Allah.
But I wanted to know the other brothers' opinions, reactionary.
Oh, sorry.
We had all agreed on that yesterday.
Okay,
yeah, we went through that yesterday.
Yeah.
The other thing was about praying first. You know how we moved to the when we prayed the first namaz, right, with the Jamaat?
Yeah.
Afterwards, we moved to a different spot, right, to pray our other prayers.
Yeah.
Because like when I get up, I move to a different area, just like I'm sure other people do too. So was that something that was in the hadith, or the Rasulullah some do that? So we're discussing that as well.
Okay.
And we came to the conclusion that we should move to a different area because we need to break and differentiate the first from the sunnah.
Okay.
So
but the hadith about it was da'if.
So there's an actual hadith that's acted upon then, yeah?
Yeah. The hadith, however, is not authentic, but the ulama have explained in fiqh about the importance of demarcating one salah from another. And if you pray in the same place, there's no harm, but it's better to move. The dhikr at the end of salah is a way of separating the prayers as well.
Wouldn't I was thinking in the loud salawats, just the fact that there's no qira'ah would kind of differentiate between a jama'ah, but Allah knows best.
Isha and Maghrib, the last rak'ah is quiet though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, you're right. In regards to the salah, did anyone talk about tashahhud at all?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tashahhud al-akhir is a rukn, if I remember correctly.
Right, but the first one isn't.
Or a shart. The first one isn't, no.
Right. I knew that, but I was told that, but I don't actually know a dalil for it. I wondered if anyone had one.
Yeah, it wasn't explained.
Okay. Labats. Okay, so you know that I know that I think there's a difference of opinion in it. Early Salafi days, I used to read, the Tahiyyah, and then the Salat Ibrahimiyya in the first rak'ah, as well as the second, not the first one. It's in the first tashahhud.
In the first tashahhud, yeah.
As well as the second one. But I later stopped doing it because I felt like I didn't have an evidence for it. Did anyone mention anything in regards to that? What you're obligated to read in the first tashahhud and in the second tashahhud?
No, we didn't go to that level of detail. It was just a checklist. There are this many conditions, there are these many pillars, and we just listed them. And we went through a basic just definition of what each one is. Yeah. We can go in more detail next time, inshallah, and bring
it would be good. Because like you said, they're mubtilat salah. I know that certain madhabs, say for example, like if you were in the fifth row from the wall or something, and the salah finished and there was no sutra, that if you walk too many steps, your salah's batil.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know if there's any is it permissible for you to walk? Is it from the mubtilat? Taking too many steps? How many steps would make your salah batil?
That was a question yesterday as well. Takbirat al-ihram.
Yeah.
That's one of the. Hold on, was that a condition or a rukn? I think that was a rukn.
I think it's a rukn.
So the takbirat al-ihram, if you're supposed to do a couple of things. Qiyam ma'al qudrah. So standing if you're able to stand.
Yeah.
Takbirat al-ihram. Istiqbal al-qibla.
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to do takbirat al-ihram.
So istiqbal
to face the qibla.
Yeah. And then what's the next one? Takbirat al-ihram, is it?
Yeah,
so the first pronunciation of Allahu Akbar.
Yeah.
And raising the hands.
That's the entry into the actual physical prayer. And the raising of the hands wasn't a pillar. It's just the takbirat al-ihram.
Okay.
Now the question was, if you enter takbirat al-ihram Do you have to be standing still, or can you walk into it?
Okay. Do you know what though? I don't know. Like I know hadith, yeah, and I don't know if this counts as takbiratul ihram because the Sahaba came late. But I remember hearing a hadith that they made takbiratul ihram, 2 of them. The first one did it, the second one followed, and then they walked to a couple of steps to join the jama'ah, like in kind of like ruku' kind of position. I don't know if anyone else has heard that hadith before as well. Can't remember the reference, but yeah. Have you ever heard anything like that before?
No, I haven't. I know that I know that people do it, and maybe it's from the actions of the Salaf. I haven't seen a hadith about it, but I haven't seen all the hadiths, so I don't know.
Okay, are you talking about raising the hands 3 times in Salah?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
If you're behind the jama'ah, can you walk forward to join them? Is that what you're saying, Eesa?
Yeah, can you make ruku' at like the start of the masjid? You know, like for example, Regent's Park. You know, if it's quite a big musalla, if you hear them in ruku', is it permissible for you to be like do takbir like halfway into the musalla and then like walk the rest? Like,
No, there's a narration about that, Akhi. When I walk into the masjid and they're in ruku', I start the ruku' at the door and walk whilst I'm in ruku'.
Yeah, that's what I heard a hadith about that, and I was asking, has anyone ever heard that hadith?
No,
is that a hadith, Umar?
Yes,
sounds
there's
funny
a narration.
still.
There's a narration about it. Because if you don't make the ruku', then you have to do a whole nother rak'ah. So you should walk whilst doing the ruku' into the salah. But let me find the narration.
I've never heard that, bro.
I'll find it.
I'm happy to learn from you.
It sounds funny. It sounds jokes, but.
Because even if you miss the rak'ah, right? It's no big deal. You make up the rak'ah. You're not supposed to run for the prayer.
Wait, no, it's not running though, innit? If you got a concession as well, then you take the concession. If it's like,
if it was that significant, the fact that you're walking to prayer, you're actually in prayer. You should get the reward for it.
Wait, get the reward for what exactly?
For the prayer. The moment you make your intention, you do your wudu, and you're actually considered to be in prayer. Now, if you're walking to the masjid, something happens to you, you get the reward for the prayer.
Yeah, no one's saying you won't, but if you get to the salah and you're in ruku', then you consider that it might be from ease, from putting ease on the people to allow them to join it, you know, at that stage instead of having to do another rak'ah.
So I'm just thinking to do ruku' and walk forward while you're in ruku'. That doesn't seem like ease to me. That's more of a difficulty.
Okay, I found.
And if that was the case, I'd expect to have to run to catch the prayer.
All right, so there's a narration al-Bukhari from Abu Bakr.
Yeah.
He came to the Prophet ﷺ while he was bowing, and he bowed with him before he reached the row. He mentioned that to the Prophet ﷺ, and he replied, "May Allah make you more keen, but do not do it again." Oh,
maybe that's a nahi then, isn't
it? Yeah. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. May Allah reward you.
Oh, so I shouldn't do it then, basically.
Yeah.
I was getting gassed. I thought I found the narration.
I found that.
May Allah make you keen, but do not do it again.
Okay, then so the second question would be then, is that from karaha or is it from like it's a nahi, like it's haram?
One of the conditions of the prayer is one of the pillars was at-tuma'nina fi jami' al-af'al. I can't remember if it's a condition or a rukn, one of them.
Yeah.
But you're required to have tuma'nina. Well, how do you translate that? That's
tuma'nina says tranquility,
calmness, in all of your movements. Now, if you're rushing and you do ruku' and you're walking forward while you're in ruku', that's not a calmness or tranquility, is it?
Sorry, but you're thinking it from like if there's a long distance. What if I'm just a footstep behind someone and I make ruku' and step into the row and align myself with everyone? That's not gonna be like a Russian thing where I don't have tuma'nina.
Yeah, but it still is a bit, because you're not in the line. You're not actually connected when you do that.
Yeah, but that's not the illah here, innit? We're talking about tamatnina.
Tamatnina, yeah.
Yeah, so you can still have tamatnina even though you're not in sync with everyone. But Allah knows best anyway. That's not having to be. That's not having to be in a long time still.
Yeah. I think the key point to remember is that the reward, right? The reason why someone would do that is to get the reward for the prayer, right? But the fact that you know that you get the reward anyway, even if you didn't catch it.
No, Hayyan.
So we should just remain calm and then.
Hayyan.
It's my. Sorry.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Did you hear me or no? I was talking to myself. No, you said that you do rak'ah and you move forward.
Ruku'. Yeah, you say you do ruku' and then move forward.
I move forward. This is من مبتلات salat, and الأئمة الأربعة, 4 of them, they have six مبتلات salat. When you move الحركة and talk in salat, and they think eat like food, and because you move from place, this is I know is الحركة is مبتلات salat. There are 6, and you can Google them if you have computer.
Do you know
مبتلات salat.
what the dalail they used are?
Huh?
Do you know what dalil they used for that?
Dalil is الأئمة الأربعة, المذاهب الأربعة, 4 of them, because they took all of them from what
yes, brother.
Sahaba
but the brother, but Eesa is Zahiri, right? He wants the evidence.
Yeah. Let me check it for you. Yeah, Eesa.
Yeah,
let me go. I don't know.
Yeah, Akhi, I just want to correct the brother reactionary. Yeah, just because that should be a prerequisite for anyone. Any Muslim should have a dalil. It's not just for Zahiris to request a dalil.
Yeah, I agree with you, bro. I do agree with you. Yeah. What I mean is that you don't accept qiyas and other things. But also, ibadah is tawqifiyya, isn't it? So we shouldn't do any without a dalil anyway. So you're right. I agree with you. I'm corrected.
That's not even like that. That's not even like that. But also as well, I think maybe I've made a I've maybe give myself like a wrong impression, or given the brothers wrong impression. I don't say that I don't take from the ulama. Yeah, I do take from the ulama and what's in line with the proofs in the text. What I can't do is if I see a statement of an alim and it's got nothing that I can see attached to it from proofs or evidence, or it goes in contradiction to clear the text in the Quran, I can't do it. I can't accept it. And I said, and like I mentioned to one of the brothers before, one of those examples is where Allah says,
actually, what you just described is not Zahiri manhaj. That's the Salafi Sunni manhaj.
What's not Zahiri?
What you just described.
The method of the Salaf is Zahiriyya. So.
Eesa.
Yeah.
Is the 4th one is al-haraka al-kathira duna haja. That means if you move without need it. And there is qawl Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is agreed with the nas of one of the ayah. والأصل في هذا رواه مسلم وأصحاب السنن أنه النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام ذكر النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام في المسجد يعني الحصى وقال إن كنت لابد فاعلا فواحدة. وحمله الفقهاء, they took it as فقهاء على كراهة height of movement القليلة, which is دون حاجة الصلاة والحرمة والبطلان في كثير من الدول. And there is one of ayah which is حافظوا على الصلوات الوسطى الصلوات الوسطى وقوموا لله قانتين. What means قانتين? خشوع and when you move قانتين, even in Arabic it means very strong word. Even the move, I don't think is قانتين, he can move. I think قانتين they have like what I know Arabic, it means like this word is very strong.
But if there's a haja though, Is it permissible?
There is one. It's happened to Abdullah ibn Zubayr, and I think in Sahih Bukhari, Abdullah ibn Zubayr, he was praying in his room at his home, and they found the snake at his home, his family, and everything. He was like, how do you say, is noisy. His home,
Yeah,
by
shouting.
him, he didn't move. Even he do taslim, and he doesn't know what's going on.
I'll be back. I forgot my wallet. Yeah, sorry, I was just doing shopping and I forgot my wallet at home. Go on. Yeah, because he was. Are you saying he was silent because he was in khushu' in the salah?
Is النص في القرآن and the hadith of Nabi عليه الصلاة والسلام قانتين. It is big word. It means nobody found him قانتا. Like no Arabic. I don't know English. How to say by English? قانت is not like واقف. When you say someone is واقف, واقف.
Yeah.
قمت like سكون. No حركة. No like nothing.
Yeah, dead stiff. Yeah.
And hadith of Nabi عليه الصلاة والسلام, which is nas agreed with the Quran. And this is the مبطلات salat, من مبطلات salat, which is 4.
Who knows what qanitin means?
That's what the brother was trying to translate.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. But actually, Mujahid, though, you said to me, I want to challenge you still. You said to me, what I said to you is the manhaj of the Salaf and the Zahiri madhab. So,
yeah, the thing you described is the manhaj of the Salaf, akhi. There's no need to use the word Zahiri in that.
No, there is a way to do this. Okay, let's say I don't use the word Zahiri, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So, what makes it, what makes it Salafi?
What makes it Salafi is the fact that the manhaj of the Salaf is to not accept the statement of any person except for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam blindly.
Okay, so then when you look at the Salafi manhaj, yeah, do the brothers take the statements of people without dalil?
Yeah, it's good to
You're equating the Salafi brothers to the Salafi manhaj.
Yeah, but if you're Salafi and you're following the manhaj, if you're not following the manhaj, then you're not Salafi.
Yeah, I agree though.
So then khalas, then we're gonna say Aktharun Nasi, they're not Salafi. Because I know a whole bunch of Salafis that take qawl بغير دليل, and they say قال شيخنا قال فلان.
It's true, but okay, to some extent we have to blind follow it. You understand?
Boy. Okay, to what extent? To what extent do we need to blind follow? I would say the only time we need to blind follow
that not everything is up for investigation, akhi, because you're gonna put yourself in a circumstance where you don't have the time nor the credentials to be able to investigate every single thing. For example,
so then what?
Science of hadith, the mushaf, how it's compiled. Yeah.
Okay. So that is the only thing I'll give you. Hadith. There's nothing else other than asanid and the tawfiq and the tada'if of a rijal, yeah, that's permissible to blind following. Other than that, I don't see any other bab from the abwab of Islam where you needed to blind follow.
Reckon. Let me come back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back here.
Inshallah. And it's funny I say that because the dalil that I used is the dalil that I do use is from the Salaf. One of the statements is a statement of Abdullah bin Mas'ud where he said, "Al-jama'atu ma wafaqa al-haq wa in kunta wahdak." He said the jama'ah, the group is that which agrees with the haq, but in kunta wahdak, and even if you're on your own.
Yeah.
So
and
yeah, go on. نعم.
And there is in الكلام في الصلاة الحركة الكثيرة and ذكر عند النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام he moved one time like someone he's sick or something, because one time he said okay, I give you the hadith. وروى أحمد وأصحاب السنن، أحمد وأصحاب السنن، وحسنه الترمذي عن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت جئت أي come to رسول جئت ورسول الله it means رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يصلي في البيت والباب عليه مغلق and the door is closed. فمشى أي he walk حتى فتح لي and he was praying.
So he
ثم
walks and open
رجع
the door.
إلى مكانه, he's back to his place. And ووصفت الباب في القبلة. And she stayed there. She didn't go to his qibla. She moved a little bit forward. She doesn't come on his front till when he finished the prayer. It said here you need to walk only when you need it, something like sick or something desperate, or but look, this is what they said. But if you want to move without a reason, they said no.
That's understandable. That's understandable. Also the proofs as well that I was saying about regarding not blind following anyone other than the messenger. Ibn Abbas said to a group of people, أخشى أن تنزل عليكم أن تصيبكم قطعا من السماء أقول لكم قال الله وقال الرسول وتقولون قال أبو بكر وعمر. So Ibn Abbas said to the people that I fear that a piece of the heavens will rain upon you or before you when I say to you Allah and His Messenger said, and you retort back to me saying Abu Bakr and Umar said. So here, and who's the best of people after the Messenger of Allah if not Abu Bakr and Umar? And here Ibn Abbas is saying that I prefer the statement of Allah and His Messenger over that statement of Abu Bakr and Umar. For me, that's a clear. For me, that's a clear indication.
If the statement come from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from Abu Bakr, it come from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's fine.
But if the
because people they start talk about in time of Umar bin Khattab, they were talking too much about the Umar. They said Umar, and he just want to put attention.
How do you mean?
Because in this time when he said the lot in that time it was like Zahira, not Zahir, Zahira. Too many people they tell to Ibn Abbas, I heard from Abu Bakr, I heard from Umar, because manzilat Abu Bakr wa Umar is like top, and he want to put attention.
But that doesn't negate.
Like warning.
That doesn't mean that if Abu Bakr and Umar say something, I have to take it. If Abu Bakr and Umar say something and they say an Nabi sallallahu that's fine. But if Abu Bakr said something on his own, I have to see, is it in line with the Book of Allah and the Sunnah?
He just say, okay, you take from Umar what Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam he say, but what he
didn't the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say alaykum bi sunnati wa sunnati al-khulafa ar-rashidin.
So what's the obviously the Sahaba never had the understanding that you have, because they differed with the Khulafa ar-Rashidin and lots of stuff. So
alaykum bi sunnati al-khulafa ar-rashidin. I think in the a'mal.
But the Prophet ﷺ said, what did he say after that? He said, what? Addu alayha bin nawajid.
Addu alayha bin nawajid.
Addu alayha is a singular pronoun. Alayha. معناها أن سنة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وسنة الخلفاء الراشدين واحد. So
meaning their sunnah isn't going to be different from the way the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
No, the meaning that the sunnah that you're meant to follow is that which is in line with the sunnah of the messenger, not anything other than that. So
I see. This is where I was taught differently. That their sunnah is considered to be an extension of the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So I said, okay, so then when Allah
Hayyan,
It's easy.
just one.
It's not, okay, you're getting confused. The brother Abu Hayyan was the brother that was with me. That's the brother reactionary. You're getting confused.
Oh, Hayyan was on last time
Abu
with you.
Hayyan, Abu
Yeah.
Hayyan.
Yeah.
Okay. Abu Hayyan, just one thing. One question
Yes,
for
bro.
you, yeah? Just one question.
Beneficial. One thing, beneficial. Brother Abu Hayyan is not on the panel. Today on the panel is
no,
brother.
this voice who is talking.
Yeah, it's all right. Go on, bro. What's the first one?
Yeah, أخي.
Yeah, reaction. Yeah, go on. Reaction.
When you said عليكم بسنتي وسنة الخلفاء الراشدين, I got just one put here one question. And Eesa he said Abu bin Mas'ud, he said don't say قول say Rasul
Ibn Abbas.
not Abu Bakr and Ibn Abbas not Ibn Mas'ud. When he said that, I just put here one question. What we do for Sunnah, أقوال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام, or what he do? What's Sunnah for us?
قول النبي فوق أعماله.
فوق أعماله. This is the difference between. I think this is the difference between عليكم بسنتي وسنة الخلفاء الراشدين من بعدي عضوا عليها بالنواجذ. And what you said like الفقه, and you took like الدين from النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. But you took الأعمال after him in 30 years what خلفاء الراشدين they done.
Yeah. So it's مثلا the actions of the Bayt al-Mal, and you know what they did in terms of harb and that stuff, in terms of what they did to the state, but not in something that was dini.
Yeah, in the fiqh, or they can do اختلاف.
Yes.
Like
Look,
Ibn Mas'ud,
wait.
Ibn Mas'ud,
You know the
and Umar ibn Khattab, they do some اختلاف. Too many things اختلاف between.
The other night though, you were talking about the Taraweeh with Umar radiallahu anhu, and that was considered the Sunnah because
whose Sunnah was it considered?
Because it was the Khulafa al-Rashidin. Therefore, even following what Umar came with, would
it's
become considered following the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And also, what else? There was one other thing I was thinking of: the compiling of the Mus'haf into one Quran, which wasn't the case at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah.
So is that true?
So
none of the companions had Masahif?
Not a complete Mus'haf, no. And it wasn't compiled into one.
Yeah, but
until
now
after.
So what I'm saying is, Aisha never had her own Mus'haf.
Not complete. I don't know. No, she had all of the collections, but not as one Mus'haf. Also, you had Sab'at Ahruf, and then we were just left with one, which is Quraysh.
المجلد in الجلد. They have jild before, and they put al-hibr.
So what I'm trying to get at is how I understood it is that when you follow the Khulafa in these matters, for example, even though that wasn't the case at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's still the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Okay, but listen, but then the issue you have here is that many of the Sahaba differed with a lot of these things that you're saying as Sunan. Now, the thing with Umar is, in the first place, the point that I was trying to establish the other day is the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam never ever stipulated a number upon the Taraweeh, right? So the qawl or the fi'l of Umar doesn't go in contradiction to that.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind as well, no one is obligated to pray the Taraweeh. It's not been made obligatory on anyone.
Yeah.
I have a question. I have a question about the Taraweeh. Now, when I was younger, going to the masjid to read Taraweeh, mostly the Asians, they read all 20 rakats. Well, after 8 rakats, all the Arabs, they get up and leave.
Yeah.
Now, is there a minimum? I was told that the minimum was 8 if you didn't read Taraweeh. And the rest was in 20. But I was also told that it's not compulsory, like it's not required to read Taraweeh as well. So what do you guys say about the 8 and 20?
It's permissible to do either.
Yeah.
I would. The only question I have is it permissible to stick to a certain number and make that number a sunnah? Yeah, after the Messenger of Allah. So
you know, it's permissible to do two rak'ah.
Yeah, because the Messenger did different ranges. Sometimes he did 2, sometimes he increased. But my thing is the fact that he did that sometimes and increased different times. Is it permissible to specify an act of ibadah for the whole 30 days? Because this is now making taqsis. You're saying I'm going to make the intention to pray 8 rak'ah every single day, even though the Messenger of Allah never did that. Unless someone has evidence to say he did do that. But from what I know, some days, one day he didn't even turn up to the...
Yeah, is that number that was something that was set by Umar radiallahu anhu?
Yeah.
Then the answer is yes. It is permissible because you'd be following the sunnah by doing that.
We know the number. What I'm saying is we don't know if Umar stuff stipulates should it be done every single day. And even if Umar...
Was it done every day when he was the Khalifa?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.